No. That's why I put the London one there. I've got a huge collection of slave receipts. And the reason why I put these slave receipts
That is incredible.
because these are from South Africa.
Slave
So when
receipts,
people
huh?
think about South Africa, they only talk about apartheid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And a lot of South Africans don't see themselves actually that they were also. But for me, it was really important that you can now see these slave receipts. But unfortunately for this one and this one, they're a receipt of birth and registry of death. But you can see the name Regina II, mother named Regina the First. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's to kind of say to people, look what our ancestors went through.
A lot.
And I've had people that have come in and they've gone, oh, I can't deal with that slavery stuff. I can't. I said, well, that tells me more about you than it does about them. So if you cannot deal with that, that tells me more about you
100%.
than what our ancestors went
That's
through.
why we deserve reparation, yeah?
Yes,
Yes, my friend.
But here,
For real.
Yeah, you get me.
Yeah. And then here, the reason why I put these things up because I thought people need to get a sense, Port Royal, and you can see within the receipts slaves, cattle, and things like that. So it hits home and it resonates.
100%.
Because for me, one thing is seeing something online, but the other thing is seeing something in front.
We can touch it, bruv.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. Exactly. And you get these Barbados pennies. And you've got to remember, with the Barbados pennies, it was like Barbados was really the sugar mountain of the world. But that is no way on that Barbados penny is that man a slave. You've only got to look what's on his head. Look at the crown that is on his head. He is not a slave. Sort of thing. And then also, what we've got here the Ethiopian Bible written in Ge'ez, which was given. A monk used to walk around with that daily.
Man.
So this is the authentic sort of thing. And then for me,
bro, this is all your history of work,
this is just a small part. This is nothing. This is nothing.
This is
in
incredible,
comparison
man.
to what I've got in my collection.
Wow.
The thing is, I want people to see is when you look at that. What does that say on the map of Africa? What does that say on the map of Africa? Going right across the middle there. It says Negro land.
What year was that map? Do you know
That's
the date?
the 16th century. Yeah. But at least, for me, it's nice to be able to kind of give you a walk around. And then here, this part, for me, we're going more to where you see the abolitionists and things like that. And then you see this woman here, who dressed up as a man, so she could go in to the houses where she couldn't get into as a woman.
I hear you, man.
But that generation, they were so innovative. They just were always thinking of solutions. They didn't sit there like a lot of people go, oh no, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this. We all come from a people that make things happen. So when people are moaning about things today, I'm like, hold on a minute, what are you moaning about? Because if you know what these people went through in order for you to be able to do what you do, and what's lovely on the back of this, these they all lived in London. This guy, his life was written about. Johnson, he wrote a book, 28 Years a Slave, sort of thing, and he was also an abolitionist. But on the back of this, that has a picture of him on the other side. But what I love is he's actually talking about Uncle Tom here. But that's the thing is, people aren't aware. Uncle Tom was no stereotypical fool. He was a man who freed people from slavery, built schools, built factories, do you know what I mean? And we were always led to believe it was a negative thing, and it was positive. So that's why we need to take control of the narrative. And then obviously Queen Charlotte, George III, and you just sort of think, yes. But sometimes in the images, if people didn't know, but she was black, and it's only now, thank God, Bridgerton come out, and people start going, oh, But then if you see some of the original engravings, when you look at those engravings, you tell me whether some people still today don't see us as that.
A devil.
And you've got to think, and so you can see there's always been both sides. Do you know what I mean? There's always a plus and there's always the minus. But what's lovely about here, this corner, is that the Royal Navy and the Merchant Navy, they were the biggest employers of free black men.
Yeah.
So they were all Merchant Navy or Royal Navy. So this guy here, who then went on to be the first black entertainer to be known by his name, Billy Waters, the first black entertainer to be known by his name. And he was huge. And an academic has recently brought a book out on his life. But hear this, the academic has got this man on the cover. They've got him on the cover. Now, if you look, it's the other leg that was amputated, and this man, his name is John Louis, who used to sweep the crossroads outside Hamlet's the Jewelers. But you can see there's no due diligence when people have to research our history, sort of thing. And then you go around. So even when you look at here, West India docks, and you can see the types of people, how diverse it was. There would have been no Brexit or any of that foolishness if people had known the contributions that we had made. Now this for me is my favourite image. And the reason why it's my favourite image, because I'm a Jamaican, and Riley told me all about Mary Seacole, and he used to do paintings of Mary Seacole. But lots of people have this image, right? But they don't have all the articles. So if you go to Getty and various picture libraries, they will just show you that. But I wanted people to see the whole article. Now how I got that, a chap, believe it or not, he was a mason, and he said to me, oh, I've got a collection, I think I've got that image. And he went home and he didn't have that one page I was looking for. And then he found out there was a collection for sale. And he bought the entire collection just so I could have that one page.
Wow.
And I said to him,
that is
"Man,
amazing.
what did you do that for?" He said, I just wanted to see the look on your face when I gave it to you. And then from that moment, something ran through me and I said, there's only 4 types of people in this world. Good people, bad people, lost people, and those that are waiting to be found. End of story. Do you know what I mean? Because what happens is, we get given hurdles and obstacles that we don't actually need. And we spend so much time dealing with that obstacle and dealing with that hurdle and dealing with that thing that we can't change. Whereas all of these people dealt with things that they could change.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, but when that man did that for me, I looked 15 years for that image. And he could have charged through the nose for it. I'd have been prepared to pay. He said, no, I just wanted to see the look on your face. And you just sort of give thanks. You know, and obviously the boxers and here, and what's great is you go from engravings, wood cuttings and things like that, and then you're coming into the age of photography. And so you've got a Zulu king here, you've got, does anyone know this man? If I say Count of Monte Cristo, 3 Musketeers, Nutcracker,
What was the name?
Alexander Dumas. Yes.
Right.
And then here, you've got an Ethiopian prince. But it's a fact for me that people need to be able to see this type of imaging. Because I go into museums and they will say to me, oh, we've got a painting of Ira Aldridge. And I'll go, where? And they'll go, there. And I'll be like, well, that's not Ira Aldridge. Ira Aldridge is a completely different structure, completely different complexion, completely different size lips. How do you validate that is? And then you get to see that a lot of academics just take a punt. They just take a punt.
They're taking the piss, more like.
Yeah. And you know, for me, people that had seen 1,000 blows and things like that, because there were hundreds of black boxers. You know, that was and you got to remember also at that time, A black boxer couldn't fight a white boxer.
Yeah.
Because there is no way a white manager would let his boxer get licked and beaten by a black man. Yeah. And then here now you see all of these people here. You'll see they're all in London. These are all London pictures. So you can get to see. And this is only, what you see here is only a small part of my collection. So this is all London sort of thing. And it's important that people start to think, it's not about the Windrush generation. And so we know, because as we're walking around, easily 2,000 years, and we're only just scratching the surface. And then for me, when you go, and there's all these, has anybody got a phone with a QR code? Because you can see, there are QR codes too for young people to use. And then you'll see these images will come to life.
Oh wow!
So when you, and then you've got to, on your phone you have to sort of touch. But I want to see, I want to see you all. I want to see that reaction when you see these images come to life. And not only that, it's the fact that for me, it's so that young people can walk around and there's something also for them. So when you and then you press next, and then you hold your phone in front of that, and then you'll see. And that has just come from a photograph. And in the original photograph, you can't see both their legs. But in a minute, when you hold your phone next to it with the QR code, you'll see. And then it should tell you, so you go through what you need to do on your phone, and then when you hold it, you'll see them having a fight in front of you. So keep pressing, pressing, and then pop it. Once you've got it up, and then put your phone next to it, and then you'll see it come to life. And that's why for me, I always like my exhibitions to be multi-sensory and interactive, so there is something there for everyone. So come back just a touch. A little bit more. And then hopefully it should. And if you see these young men here, they've just come off the battlefield. Normally you don't see images like that in the sun and the dirt. But you can see how diverse the regiments were in this country. Do you know, they were...
So Leo, were they also mixed regiments, or was it always... Yes.
They're mixed.
Okay.
Mixed, you can see.
Oh, okay.
You can see.
Yeah.
So what happens is somebody wants to keep a narrative going.
Because normally we only hear like the Indian or the black.
Look at this man here. He's just come out of the hospital. He's a black brother. What's he doing? Just come out of the hospital. He's checking the women. He's only just come and walking out of the hospital. Look at his face. Look where his direction is.
Wow.
So, and then here, there's just a little bit of sports here, because this man here was the fastest runner in the world. He was the world wrestling champion. But you can see there are people who are not written about in the books. But the lovely thing is, when you get to World War II, right, and it's to answer your question, look at all these German officers here. Look at the German officers. Sorry, what colour is that German officer?
Black.
Yeah. Not only that, look at that man having his picture taken. Now look how he's styling it. Just like any one of your friends today, if they were going to have their picture taken, that is how they're going to stand. So you can see everything that we think about, it's in our DNA, it's in our psychic inheritance. The Black Prince.
Yeah, do you know about him? There's a guy, a friend of mine, his father had flown 60 missions in Bomber Command. He started off as a gunner and became a navigator, and he did 60 missions over war-torn Germany, and they named the aircraft after him.
Yeah.
Called the Black Prince, a Lancaster bomber. Yeah.
Do you know Terry Jervis?
No, it's.
No, I'm saying because Terry Jervis has just done something
Oh right.
on him.
Do you know Akin?
No, I don't know.
DJ, it's his father.
Okay.
It's his
Okay.
father.
Wow.
Akin Shabengo.
Yes, his dad
Wow.
was a bomber pilot, was a navigator.
Wow.
Did 60 missions.
Yeah.
He retired after 25. He did 60. Nigeria.
And then what's lovely, this image here,
Malcolm.
this stencil was done by a neighbour of mine when she was 15. A neighbour, Ruth, white Jewish lady, she did this stencil, and then when they got it printed, they took her name off.
That
And I've
is,
also got a print of the poster too.
that is crazy,
And
man.
they took her name
No.
off. It's how crazy, you know how some people, yeah. But yeah, and obviously, but walk around, and I'd love to take a few just pictures at some point, just to show people there was lots of people here.
Yeah, of course.
This.
We'll take the pictures now, bro.
Yes, so do you want to get into that one where there's a bit more light?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more light in there. Yeah, so if you guys go in there like you're looking,
Yeah.
and then
You need to get in the picture, bro. Get your guy to take the picture.
I'll take because you know.
Right, okay.